Hello everyone and welcome to the Japan Business Podcast. My name is Eric Ahona. I'm your host and the founder of Japan Business Consulting. In today's podcast, we're going to talk about Tesla in Japan. Yes, the auto manufacturer Tesla, from the celebrity and maybe the richest man in the world, Elon Musk. Now, Tesla has been very successful on the US market, but I want to make a quick analysis what they have been doing, a quick comparison to the Japanese market and why they aren't quite as successful there and what their opportunities might be and how they might be able to adjust their business operations in Japan to also be more successful. I have to say, a full disclaimer, I am a Tesla owner. I actually purchased a Tesla at the end of 2022, and I have to say it was an experience like moving from a traditional cell phone to a smartphone. It is basically, in my opinion, a computer around a car, or vice versa, a car around a computer. So the exciting part about Tesla is that you get software updates which improve the capabilities of the car, be it that it has more mileage, it can accelerate faster, it has different options like games that you can play while waiting and charging the car. Or last but absolutely not least, the car can actually drive itself. Yes, you heard that correctly. You can drive or you can sit in the driver's seat, but the car is actually driving itself completely. You just have to keep your eyes on the street for security, and from time to time you have to put your hands on the steering wheel. But more about that, or let me know if you want to learn more about that, and I can make another episode specifically on the so-called full self-driving feature that Teslas offer. But today I want to talk about Tesla in general and what their challenges have been on the Japanese market. Now, to say Tesla has not been successful in Japan wouldn't be entirely accurate. They have certainly established a presence with over 1,000 vehicles on the road and are the top-selling importer of EVs. So there is a strong dominance of the Japanese car manufacturers. As you know, Toyota is the biggest car manufacturer in the world, and their home country is Japan. And there are many others like Honda, for example, that are also big players in the automotive market. And they've also come up with their own EVs and therefore have challenged Tesla in their market endeavors on the Japanese market. Now, compared to the dominance in the US, the Japanese market penetration is actually behind. So the key reasons why are separated into separate categories which I want to talk about. So the first one is market size and preference in Japan. The second one is distribution and charging. The third one is competition. And then there are also additional factors. Now, the first one, let's talk about market size and preference. So the Japanese market, as you know, is overall a smaller market. So it is significantly smaller than the US and offering a smaller pool of potential buyers. It's not only because of the population, but it's also because of the infrastructure in Japan. A lot more people in Japan commute to work with the public transportation, and in general, if you are living in the metropolitan areas of Japan, you tend not to have a car because it's a liability and definitely not an asset, because you have to pay very high parking fees. And The rent for a parking spot in Tokyo, for example, can be as close as 1,000 or even more dollars per month. The other point is that the preference in Japan is towards so-called K cars, where K means compact cars, and hybrids. So they prefer fuel-efficient hybrid cars, which dominate the market due to their affordability and practicality for the congested streets, especially in the metropolitan areas, and also they have lower tax benefits. Teslas, especially the Model S and X, are larger and more expensive models, also because they're imported, and imported cars usually have additional taxation or import taxes that come on top of the base price. And until now, they haven't resonated as well. The next point is distribution and charging. So there are chargers for Tesla, so the fast chargers, those the so-called superchargers, which are used when you go on road trips or when you don't charge your car at home, are rather limited. Tesla hasn't invested as much as in other markets compared to the extensive US network. The Japan's supercharger infrastructure is definitely less developed and therefore hindering long-distance travel comfort for many potential buyers. So that's why they're thinking twice before purchasing a Tesla. And again, there's of course there are parking challenges. So in Japan, as mentioned, especially in the metropolitan areas, there is limited parking space in densely populated cities, and that makes owning a large vehicle like a Tesla less attractive. I mean, the Model 3 is the smaller model, but it's still a rather big car for the Japanese market. Then there's competition, obviously. So strong domestic EV players or electric vehicle players from Japanese automakers like the Nissan Leaf and the Toyota BZ4X have had a head start. They've been on the Japanese market prior to Tesla, and they're more affordable and city friendly than the Tesla competition. And then there is also government incentives, because there are government subsidies for locally produced EVs, and they don't exist for Tesla. So now there are government incentives here in the US. So I think at the current stage there is a $7,500 tax benefit if you buy an EV that has a certain price level, and some Teslas are also included. But that doesn't exist for Teslas in Japan, so it makes Teslas less competitive on price on the Japanese market. Additional factors are that the cultural differences for specifically in Japan, the Japanese consumers prioritize safety, reliability, and efficiency, and those aspects sometimes are more associated with established brands like Toyota, like Honda, over newer players like Tesla. Then the brand perception plays a really important role. As I always like to say, the Japanese consumer prefers the devil they know over the angel that they don't know. So while Tesla enjoys global recognition, it hasn't fully resonated with all Japanese consumers who may prefer traditional car makers, because they just know what they can expect, and they are very risk averse in regards to making new purchases. However, it is important to note that those challenges are definitely not nothing that Tesla won't be able to overcome. And there are some things that they're actively addressing. So what they're doing, first and foremost, they're internationally, but also specifically in Japan, expanding their supercharger or fast charger network. And partnerships with local companies are accelerating the supercharger station construction progress. So that is a good point and a good progress for long distance travel, so that Tesla owners in Japan have easier access or have less range anxiety to get to their destination, which makes it more likely, more attractive to purchase a Tesla. Then there's also rumors for a while now that there will be there is a smaller Tesla model in development, and that would really cater to the Japanese market or local preferences for a smaller car, where they prefer, especially in metropolitan areas, to have smaller cars because it's easier to access certain roads with that car. And then they're also building local partnerships, and that might be, there isn't anything official about this, but there might be an option to do some kind of collaboration with Japanese traditional car manufacturers that could improve production and supply chain efficiency for them. As of now, they do not have any manufacturing in Japan, but there are also rumors that they plan to open up a plant in Japan at some stage. Nobody really knows yet if that will be specifically for car manufacturing, or if it will be, which would lower the price because they would be able to avoid import tax if they also sold the car in Japan. But that is still not clear, or if it will be just for battery production or for solar roof and so on. Now, while Tesla faces certainly a lot of challenges in Japan, I would say the brand name, the technological advancements, and what I mentioned initially, that it's really like moving from a traditional cell phone to a smartphone, in my opinion. That is the feeling. And if more and more people get aware of that, that will definitely be a big plus for Tesla. And also their adaptability. I mean, they have made an amazing and very impressive progress over the past 5 years with their activity, operations, and revenue. And they absolutely have potential for future growth also in Japan, despite the fierce competition from the traditional automakers in Japan. And the Japanese EV market is definitely rapidly evolving. I remember, if you look on my YouTube channel, I had a conversation with a friend of mine who works for Toyota. Until 2 or 3 years ago, Toyota was still going all in on hydrogen and hybrid EVs, and was saying that full battery EVs are not the future. But that has slightly changed now. So the market is evolving, and thanks to Tesla, I think there have been some changes in perception, specifically from the big traditional automakers in Japan. And I think with some strategic adjustments, the potential could enable Tesla to carve out a larger share in the coming years. So if you have a Tesla, or if you're interested in Tesla, or if you're interested in electric cars in general, please do let me know. I am certainly very interested in that topic, and I see it has a lot of potential. It is here to stay for sure. It's only growing in the next years. And let me know what you think in the comments below. And in the next episode, we're going to talk about financial freedom and business success, how you can achieve your financial freedom and what that even means for you. Again, my name is Eric, signing out. Arigatou gozaimasu.